we are very excited to welcome in Kwame, Damon Mason, and Duante Abercrombie to join us on the show and chat about this. First off, congratulations on the series. This is really cool. I think that promo right there speaks volumes about how much went into it. So congratulations on that, and thank you for coming on the show. I'll start with you, Kwame. You're heavily involved in this project. How did it come together? Where did the idea to document this come from, and how did it come to be?
Well, that's what happens when you have a lot of time on your hands during COVID. I was just kind of thinking of a few things that I wanted to kind of put together, and Javier Gutierrez reached out to me and said, hey, if you have any ideas, let me know. And I said, you know, by chance, I do have this thing in my notebook about an internship program that I think teams should really get involved with and do to help expand the Rolodex for coaches of color, because as we know, for coaching, it's not necessarily who you know, is who knows you. So I pitched him this idea where we take a coach from Canada, coach from the United States, have them come in to their development camp and spend a weekend just learn from the guys that have been doing it in the NHL. So I'm really happy that Arizona asked me to do this, and I had two great guys that were involved.
Duante, I want to get to you, and like reading some of the background on your story, one of the things that you point out is that when you go to rinks, you see black families at the rinks, you go up and say hi, introduce yourself. I would think that's really important. Give me the background on that, why you do it, and maybe how it would have been maybe helpful for you when you were a younger player.
Well, honestly, that's the way that I found the sport. Coach Neil Henderson of the Fort DuPont Cannons, actually, he meets everybody with a warm hug and, you know, just wondering how your day has been going. So I figured I'd just continue his legacy and what he imparted in me, because it has meant so much to me from the moment I first stepped in an ice rink.
Can you expand a little bit on that? Because I'm just envisioning this. I get goosebumps when I'm watching that video. I'm just envisioning you going in there, and it's like you come up to another aspiring black family or a kid that's an aspiring hockey player. And is it just like, hey, I see you? And is that what you wanted? And is that what would have just made you feel better? You know what I mean? And how do those conversations go?
And it's not just, hey, I see you. It's, hey, this is your home. You are welcome here. Well, this is a place where you can come, you can thrive, you can be a part, because the barrier to entry is not only just the financial side, but honestly just the cultural stigma or traditions of hockey isn't a sport for black individuals. And I'm just here to honestly to break that narrative, like I said in the series.
It just gave me chills, and it reminded me of something that Everett Fitzhugh, who was part of the first all-black broadcast last week for the Seattle Kraken, he had said, you know, for a long time, looking like me, you know, I was the only person in the room that looked like me, and it was a lonely place. That's what he said. So he said to be in the booth with JT Brown, you're just kind of like, hey, we're both here, and we need to see this more. We need people to feel, you know, less lonely, like they're the only one. So I think it's incredible that you do that at all the rinks, and I'm sure it makes a massive, massive difference for those families and for those kids who have big dreams of playing in the NHL one day. Kwame, I'll come back to you. In filming this series and doing this, you know, I've been reading a lot of quotes from Duante, who sounds like a quote machine. Sounds like he's
suited and booted.
Like a very good quote machine in Duante. So why don't you tell us kind of maybe something that you learned about Duante in doing this project and putting it together? What stands out to you?
Yeah, what stands out to me the most about both Duante and Nathaniel is that these guys are determined. They want it, they love it, they live it. This is their world, and regardless of, you know, being a part of NHL Bound or not, they'd be continuing to do what they do on a day-to-day basis, which is, you know, helping young boys and girls get better at the game they love, which is hockey. And I think, you know, going back to your other point, you know, at the end of the day, all we're trying to do here is normalize black faces and voices in the game of hockey, because I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have, is that normalization. So we don't have to have all these conversations over and over again. It could just be something normal to see. And Rupert, to your point, like, you know, traditionally in black culture, like, when we see each other walk down the hallway or down the street, we always say hi. And so we just take that to ice rinks as well. Like for me, when I walk into an ice rink and I see a family of color, I always just say hello. And that's just something culturally that we do. And it's not like we don't say hi to anybody else, but it's just this head nod. And I'm sure if you have any black friends, you've seen the head nod before.
Hey, Duante, I want to give, for the viewers out there, give us a little bit more about your background, your journey, because you mentioned obviously the connection with Neil Henderson there, who we know, and there was just a great documentary out on Neil Henderson, which is, I mean, he is someone that if you don't know about Neil Henderson, learn about him, because he is quite an individual and he's affected and impacted so many lives. But you're at Division III Stevenson now as an assistant coach there. Give us a little bit more background on you and your path and your journey.
Well, yeah, as you said, I'm at Stevenson University as an assistant coach. We actually have playoffs starting tonight. Some of our athletes are starting to arrive, so you may hear them in the background. But my journey is non-traditional. I didn't know much about the traditional hockey journey coming from Washington, D.C. We didn't know about junior hockey or even travel hockey with Fort DuPont. So I played at my local high school, Gonzaga High School, for 4 years of varsity. We actually had 5 players from that team go and play NCAA Division I college hockey. And it became a time where I said, you know what, if these athletes are able to achieve this, they were starting to play some professional hockey, then I also need to try to give it a run. And that's where I started training and trying to push for professional hockey, because I knew I had a career in hockey. I just didn't know whether it was going to be on the ice or on the bench.
Kwame, can you just touch on, you mentioned before the Arizona Coyotes, the ownership group there. We saw Bill Armstrong in that video. We're starting to see...
Bruce Wayne? You mean Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. Hey, he's been in the gym. Do you see him too? He's been in the gym. Bill Armstrong's in there wearing the short shirt, the size medium, you know? So, no, it was... but this is one of the organizations, one of the NHL franchises that is actually doing some things and trying to learn. And you talked about that conversation that you had with ownership, like, hey, if you have any ideas, can you talk about how nice and refreshing it is to deal with a group that actually wants to be open to ideas and do things?
Yeah, it's actually really huge. All kudos go out to Bill and Javier, because like they came to me and asked me what I wanted to do. You know, usually in my position as a director or creator, you always got to go and pitch something to somebody and hope that they'll even take your meeting. They actually sought this out and asked me if I had some stuff. So it's really refreshing. You know, we're in a time where, you know, everybody has an opinion about what hockey is and isn't doing. And the thing that makes me proud about this, especially NHL Bound, is the fact that here we are actually doing something. Here we are actually having a conversation. I'm in Arizona right now, and we're going to show all 4 episodes tomorrow to their whole staff and to the community, and just talk about inclusion in the game of hockey when it looks, you know, and how it looks for coaches. So I'm really happy, really proud of Arizona, and I think this is just a step in the right direction. And I hear that at least 5 other teams are interested in doing this next year as well.
Oh, that's huge.
Yes.
Congrats on that. That's massive. Again, the series is called NHL Bound. It's on YouTube if you're just joining us. Duante, I'm going to come back to you because I called you a quote machine for a reason. I can't believe no one's asked about this quote yet. You said in episode 1, nobody walks into a rink the way I walk into a rink, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I am not going to leave it at that. I would like to know what you mean by that.
Honestly, it's all about just the energy that you show up with. Like you expect great things. Great things will happen. Like, and it started with Kwame when we went out to the NHL All-Star game. He was like, "Yeah, we're going to do a question and answer after the showing of the first episode." So Suited and Booted was clearly in the trailer, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna show up in my wedding suit with the bow tie on." And you know, I don't know. It's just something about having the energy and the expectations of success, and that's the way I try to go about my day on a daily basis.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. As a coach, there's always a lot of things that come into it, and you have to have presence. And I would tell you, Duante, you have a lot of presence. So, I mean, that's a real positive. So good luck as you continue your journey. You got the game tonight. Now, you said you're in the playoffs. Who are you playing? What's the background? Help us out here. And, you know, Patrick Laine came on the show yesterday, and he had game day, got 2 goals. They won. So I hope we give you a little good energy here. But who do you got tonight? What do you expect?
So we have Manhattanville tonight. We split this season. And honestly, tonight, we're just focused on us. We're going out there trying to execute what it is that we know we're supposed to do and focus on our details and habits. And honestly, let the game take care of itself. But it starts with that first puck drop, the first battle, That's all we're worried about right now.
They got to show up with that energy. They got to show up at puck drop the way you show up to the rink.
That's
and I think you guys will be set up for success.
Yeah, good luck.
Yes. Good luck on the game tonight. Congratulations on the series. Again, it is called NHL Bound. You can find it on YouTube. All the best to both of you guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And Kwame, we miss you, buddy.
Come back, Kwame. Come back.
I miss the Friday jam, man. The Friday jam. We need it back.
Okay, well, for sure. I got some flavor. I've got some flavor for the hockey world, and at least need to listen. You need to listen to me.
Do it.
Well, you better send that up to Toronto.
Yeah.
I will.
Listen, work on a track for that second line. They need it.
I will.
Hey, listen, I see no lies. Thanks, guys. All the best. Yeah.